Okay, for this lesson we're going to focus on Claude Monet and his beautiful landscape reflecting pictures. Here is one of his Japanese bridge pictures, and I have many of those to look at. This picture that's finished focuses on a sailboat that's reflecting in the lake. I'm going to work on the bridge picture. So the first step is to take your paper and fold it from the bottom to the top. Yours is going to be twice as big as mine, but this one fits under my screen so nicely. I'm going to only draw above the line. So the first step is for me to draw the bridge. You might want to start in pencil in case you make a mistake. I'm just going to do it in marker so that you can see it better. I'm going to draw a curved line from one side of the picture all the way to the other. Then I'm going to draw a second curved line all the way from one side to the other, and a third one. I think I'll make this one skinny this time. So I have 3 curved lines. Now I'm going to draw vertical lines with maybe a finger or 2 space between each one. Try to make them even. Okay, that will be my bridge. I'm going to put a shadow under the bridge with a black marker, and under all of the lines I'm going to draw a black outline. At the bottom side, don't go on top of the vertical lines. So I'm going to do them just underneath, and that's like there's a shadow from the sun shining on. Now I'm going to go down the right side of all the vertical lines with a shadow. Just one side, not both. If there's any places I missed, I can go back in and fill them in. Now it creates your bridge. Now I think maybe I will draw all the landscape. You want to start out with the things that are down near the bottom of the lake. So maybe down near the bottom of the lake there's some flowers growing. Now, Monet wasn't super careful. He painted, remember, with like blobs and smears of color. So these are going to be a grouping of flowers. I'm just drawing like little puffy shapes, little circly shapes. Then I'm going to make the stems. And maybe the leaves, some leaves going here and there. And I think I'll put another color green with the leaves so that it's not just boring in one color. And how about the center of the flower is a nice bright red. Okay, so now I have a grouping of flowers over there. Maybe there's a little bit of grass near the edge of the lake. So this is going to be the grass. And I can go in between where the flowers are on the grass. It's always interesting to put a few more colors mixed in. So I'm putting a little blue with my green so that it blends together. Now behind those flowers are maybe some bushes. You can use whatever color you want. Everything does not have to be green. So let's see if I do a little bit of green to start. So maybe I'll do a bush right here. And I'll just show it with some lines. But instead of coloring it in green, I might color in with some blue, just doing blobby, smeary lines, and maybe a little yellow. And that will, when it blends, it will mix into some different kinds of green. Just be careful with the yellow. It's already got green on it. So maybe I'll put a little bit of yellow back here. Maybe I'll do something orange right here. How about a shape with orange? Make it all wiggly. Maybe it's a bush that has red and orange. Do some over here. Notice how I'm not being super careful. And I'm using different colors just to make the shapes of the landscape. Maybe there's a big pine tree behind the flowers. So I'm going to draw a triangle, but it goes behind. Maybe I'll make the edges like this. It goes behind the bridge. Now I'm going to color that in. I'm using brush strokes instead of coloring it in solid. See, I'm using little dabs of color. Maybe I'll mix some little dabs of color with other colors. Little green, lighter green here and there. When we finish this, your colors are going to blend together, and it's going to look really beautiful. Notice how you can see the tree through the bridge. That's important. I'm going to put some red mixed in with my green. It will end up looking like shadows underneath the tree when I'm done. Put a little red. It's okay to have little bits of white showing. It's not a lot of white. And maybe over here there's a big weeping willow tree on the other side. And it's going to start up at the top, and it's going to wiggle its way down and behind the bridge. And then I'm going to use, notice how I cap my markers each time I'm done with them. Sometimes if you use different types of lines to draw your different plants, it will help make them look different. So this is the weeping willow tree. I think I'll put a little brown in between just to give it a little bit of shadow. Now maybe behind the bridge, I think I'm running out of colors. Something purple. Maybe I'll do tall grass behind there with purple. But I'm not only going to use purple, I'm going to mix it with dark green. And maybe some blue. All right, now when I'm all done with my landscapes and I've added all the plants that I want, you need to make sure that you color in the sky. You can make it a sunset if you want. You can make it a blue sky. I'm going to put some clouds in the sky, so I'm going to leave some white paper showing when I color in so that I have clouds. And I also might blend my colors together. I might not just use light blue. Maybe there's some light blue here. Maybe there's some dark blue mixed in with it. Up at the top. I'm coloring as if I were Monet. I'm not being super careful. Maybe a little more. Got a little bit of purple up there too. I'm careful around my plants a little bit so I just don't want to color over the whole thing. But if there's little bits of white showing, it will make your paper sparkle a little bit. Just don't forget to color in between where the bridge is. I think maybe down here, put a little blue, fill that all in. All right, if there's a lot of white specks, you might want to fill in some of them. All right, when you're happy with that, before we add the water, you might want some lily pads floating down at the bottom. So I'm going to draw little circles with oil pastel. And these will be my lily pads. Usually they grow together in groups. So maybe I'll put lily pads right here. And they're going to have yellow flowers on them. Oh, that yellow was all dirty. See if I can find a clean spot. When we print the top half down to the bottom in the next lesson, then you will be able to see this on top of the water. If you can see any goldfish swimming underneath, and you want to add a goldfish in your pond, here's where you would do it with oil pastel, because you could see through to the goldfish. Okay, so now I have a couple of fish swimming in the pond, and I'm ready for the next step.